Hey everyone, and welcome back to Get Godly with It. Today I have a really exciting episode because I have my boyfriend here with me. Freddy, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself just a little bit?
Yeah. My name is Freddy. For those of you who don't know, I know Kathy has spoken a little bit about it, maybe on social media or on other platforms. But I'm from here, from Coral Springs, Florida. Grew up here my entire life. I don't even know what else to say. This is like an icebreaker.
I don't think I've ever mentioned you on my podcast before.
No, actually you have. You called me friend.
I did call you
and
friend.
never said a name or anything.
The last two weeks of filming, I was calling Freddy my friend. So if you go back and you listen to the last two episodes, you'll see that I'm like literally talking about how a friend was like kind of like this against a wall, and it was literally just Freddy like being Freddy.
No, but there's a reason behind that though. I wanted to stand in front of the window so that she wouldn't get distracted when people walking by, because she had previously said, like, if you see the last two episodes, that she's gonna get distracted when people are walking by, and so I wanted to stand in front of the window so she wouldn't look that way. But I figured if I stood in front of the window, then she would look at me, and then she would mention me regardless. And so that's why I kind of just I was conflicted, so I just stood next to the window and I didn't do anything.
Yeah, especially if it was you looking into the window,
Yeah.
I think I would have literally stopped recording.
Yeah.
But anyways, before we even get into this episode, I'm just gonna plug in where you guys can follow me. You can follow me at Kathy Dvuli on Instagram or at GetGodlyWithItPodcast. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Kathy Dvuli. And if you're feeling generous, I do have a link below where you can support this podcast. So you can find all the links down below. And then I'll also have Freddy linked down below. So you can give a shout out for your Instagram if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only platform I pretty much use is Instagram. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down below in the description, caption. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really use YouTube the way Kathy does it, but I'll definitely put my Instagram down below.
Okay, so let's get in. As you know by the title, I'm so nervous. By the title of this episode, we're going to talk about our love story. Okay, so first, Freddy, you didn't even give enough information about you.
I don't know what else. Okay, I'll say
you like videography.
Yeah,
you like to take videos of me.
Well, you're not wrong. I know I love to take videos. I actually just made a video, posted it on my Instagram.
He did, of me, which is why I'm saying that.
Yeah. So I have a really big passion for video. Video and taking pictures. More video though. I serve here at the church, doing video. I'm on the creative team. I don't really like doing graphics and all that. My main thing is definitely doing video. Getting into effects and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think the video I just made out of Kathy was it was definitely a new thing for me, because first off, I've never done that before. I've never put effects in videos like that the way I did in the video. So it was really cool. I'm actually I'm obsessed with that. Not only that Kathy's in it, but just the little details that were in it. Not to pump my head up a little bit, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I love sports. I love video. I love anything that has to do with video creatively. Fashion. I love clothes. I love shoes, all that stuff. I'm trying to think of anything else.
I can't believe you're leaving out missionary.
I can forget about that. It's just it's on the spot, so I gotta think about it and then
say
nervous?
It.
I'm like okay, now
Look,
I'm fine.
You're turning red now.
I'm not. So you always do this. Anyways, so I love missions work. I've been doing missions work since 2021. I believe I went on my first mission trip to Michigan, and that was a whole thing. So much growth when it comes to that. But I went to Michigan twice. Shout out that Michigan team, man. It was great. But went to Michigan twice. Went to California to join Circuit Riders for a 2-week training school that they did. That was awesome. Oh my gosh, those people there are on fire. Shout out to Circuit Riders. Every movement that they have is just crazy. If you guys don't know who they are, you can definitely look them up. Circuit Riders on every platform they have, but they're awesome. They're crazy on fire people. So I did that, and then I went to Brooklyn this past year. Shout out the Brooklyn team. There's so many people I can shout out, man, because they're family to me for real. Yeah, I went there for I think 10 days, freezing cold. But we had 5 teams go out to 5 different boroughs in New York. And my team, again, I mentioned before, was Brooklyn. And it was great, man. Just like endless testimonies from that trip. But I can just continue to talk about that. But we're on Kathy's podcast, not my podcast. But
So, no, please share about your life, about your missions, everything, Freddy. But since you're talking about the New York missions trip, Jesus, I remembered that was like when we had just like I just found out that you kind of liked me a little bit. No, I had speculations. So that trip when he left was like brutal for me. It was because I was like, dang, we were just like starting to like know that we like each other, and now he's gone. But we can get into that story like in a little bit. Let's share our story. I'm so excited because first of all, this is really weird. I think like this is so random. I didn't think like a time would come so soon where I'm like sitting here with my boyfriend sharing my story. But we also want to put this story out here. I want to put it out here because I think most of you guys know my past. You guys know a lot about kind of what I went through in the past. If not, I can do a whole other recording about it. But I think that Freddy is like someone that God used to redeem my life, you know, and someone that God used part of my redemption story. So I'm really inspired by what God did in my life and how he used Freddy to heal a lot of things in my heart. And I think our story is a good story to people out there who like, you know, are searching for someone, because it can give them like that green light to just stop, you know, just stop searching and just wait because who was it? Jacob that found Rebecca? Like his servant that found Rebecca?
I'm not sure. I believe so.
I think it was Jacob's servant found Rebecca. Yeah. Like Rebecca wasn't looking, you know, she was just serving. And that's what I was doing. I was just serving what God asked me to do, and Freddy found me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to start by your side first? Do you want to share a little bit of your past, or do you want that to be like another story? Do you want to just share our story right now?
Past, we can do that another time.
Okay, let's do that another time. So let's start from the day you laid the day you laid eyes on me for the first time.
Yes. So just a little bit of background when it comes to that. So you guys don't think I'm like weird or crazy, but I wasn't like fresh out of a relationship, but it was a couple months at that point. And so my mindset was, you focus on yourself, make friends, get closer to God, and that's it. And that was like my whole mindset. So I met Kathy. First I saw like there was a new person at church. I'm like, who's that? Like, what the heck?
That was me.
It was Kathy. It was definitely you. And then some people around the church had told me like that it was a new VSM student, new seminary student. And I remember this is when I remember that I met Kathy, because we had like multiple conversations, like when we met each other, when we didn't meet each other, which you guys will probably hear. But I remember meeting Kathy at a Saturday service, after a Saturday service, because we had like barbecue outside or something. And then it was like a little like huddle, because usually after service we just hang out. And so she was there, and then I think we were all just hanging out, and she was in the middle, and I introduced myself to her, not thinking anything at all. She's just, like, it's a new person, so I'm going to introduce myself. And so,
which is weird, because I feel like you're more like to yourself until people approach you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think that's more of the person that you are. But continue.
Yeah. But yeah, so we just kind of like started talking in like the group setting. And then I remember she asked us this question. She's like, where do you guys think I'm from? Like, where does it look like I'm from?
I don't remember that.
And then, no, it's so crazy, because like we were all guessing, and she's like, no. It was like, she was like boasting all where she's from.
And I remember now that you're saying
that. And I'm like, Poland. And then she said no, and that's like, you have roots from Poland.
I do have roots from Poland.
Yes. So you just try to like be hard and like try to be like
stubborn.
Yeah.
I like to play the game.
Yeah, you do. But yeah, that was like a little moment. But like that's when I met Kathy, like for the first time. There was another moment where we went to the movies, like our whole group, and that was like the second day she was here, and I think because I remember seeing a person that I didn't know, and then I just disregarded that person. I looked up, saw like a new person, and I looked down. I just kept pushing, but
You did.
I didn't. I just
did.
didn't think too much about it.
So
I don't know.
Sorry, are you done? Can I say my side of that day?
Yeah.
Okay, so my introduction to Freddy goes even way before that because I saw him on Instagram. So I saw him on Instagram, and there was a picture where he was front row, and you were wearing the blue hat and the black hat and the blue sweater.
I was hugging someone.
I think so. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't know if it's that picture though. I don't know. You were in front of the stage. I don't think it's that picture. No. It's not up anymore, unfortunately. But I remember seeing him, and I like zoomed into that picture. I said, "Oh, he cute." But I also like when I was coming here, my mindset wasn't like finding anybody. God gave me purpose. God gave me a word, and I'm here for seminary. You know.
Yeah.
So then the second day that I was here, we were at the movies, and like him and his friend, they walked by my seat. And I remember thinking, oh, that's the guy from the Instagram picture. But then he didn't talk to me at all, and I didn't talk to him at all. I was just talking to some random people. Like, it is what it is. But that was the second day that I got here. And then he doesn't think this happened. I know this happened. That weekend, that Sunday, I wore like my floral dress, and like my hair was super blonde. I know I looked cute. And I went outside, and he was talking to our leader, our life group leader, and I picked up like a table, and then I walked inside. I didn't pay any mind to him.
Or so you say. No, you wanted me to look your way.
No, I didn't pay any mind to you.
No,
because I wasn't here for that. And then I went home, and he followed me on Instagram.
That's not true.
That is true. You followed me on Instagram that day, and I remember thinking, oh, I'm pretty sure he thinks I'm pretty. But that's probably not what was going through your head at the moment. But so that happened. And then when he's talking about that Saturday night, so I even remember that Saturday night, Pastor Ray was like, okay, everybody hug 3 new people. And then I remember you there, and I remember I didn't want to hug you, so I like bolted the other way to hug somebody else. Yeah. And then, so then we were talking, and it was me, Freddy, and his friend. And like, I kid you not, like my attention was not anywhere else but on Freddy. I was like, oh, you do missions? Like really? Like where? Just like talking, and his friend kept trying to talk to us, and my brain was just like, I just want to talk to him, to be honest. I didn't want to talk to your friend. I just wanted to talk to you. And then that conversation ended, and then we went outside, and then, do you remember that?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
And I'm going to say my side, and then you can share your side. Man, I can't believe we're already talking for over 10 minutes. And it's just the beginning.
No way.
That's funny.
Kind of flew by.
Okay, so what was I saying? Yeah, so we went outside, and they were doing like hot dogs that night. I don't remember what they were doing that night. Yeah, but then me and Freddie stood out there talking for like a while, no?
Yeah, it was a minute.
I remember we were talking about some visions we had from God. I remember we were talking about some callings we have in like this one place that we both think. Oh, and then the next day it was confirmed to me that I have a calling there. I remember that. And then anyways, but Freddie kept looking like past me as we were talking. Like we would talk, and he would be like, and so in my head, I'm like, oh, this guy doesn't want to talk to me at all. So I cut the conversation, and then he was going to go get hot dogs. And then I remembered I asked somebody else to go into line to get me a hot dog because I didn't want to have to go the same place as him because I thought he didn't want to talk to me.
My goodness.
But then you went on inside, and then we all sat down with like a big, like all those people, and he was like responding to what I said. So I was like, okay, he doesn't think I'm crazy. You can share your side.
Yeah. No, we were talking about that. We were talking about tattoos too.
Oh, we were.
Great. Yeah. No, so I was just, the only thing I remember was, we were talking about missions, stuff that I did, and then I think I was gonna go to Colombia.
Yeah.
And then
for like 3 months, right?
Oh, Colombia.
6 months?
No. That Colombia was just a week, 9 days.
California?
Colombia.
Where were you going?
Huh?
Where were you supposed to go for 3 months?
I was supposed to go for 6 months to California to
Got
join Circle Riders. But no, that's pretty much the same story that I had. Is that we were just talking outside, and then apparently I was looking around. I don't know.
He's just awkward.
I'm not awkward.
Sometimes
though.
he's awkward.
I'm not.
Sometimes his eyes are just like.
My eyes just wander. I don't know. Like, I'm invested. And the conversation was good because I was asking questions. You were asking questions.
Yeah.
And we were just flowing. You know, we just hit it off the bat.
Yeah, we did.
But, yeah, I don't know.
So, from that day, I was intrigued by Freddy. I definitely was intrigued by Freddy. Fast forward, I don't know. So, we ended up in a live group together. And I remember thinking this guy probably thinks I'm stalking him. Like, I don't know why. Like, I already felt like he probably thought I was stalking him. So we ended up in the same life group. I think I explained what a life group is before. How do you know that?
A little bit of background. I'm actually the person that edits all her reels. And so I'm looking through her episodes. Yeah. And so that team that she had, that was part of that team. And so just so you guys know. So I know when you're talking about your reels. Just me.
My reels?
That's how your life group.
Yeah.
She explained it. But yeah. Actually, funny story. I just remembered from life group.
What? The grease thing?
Let me say
Sorry.
it. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
So we had like a little icebreaker. I can't remember who brought it up, but the question was, what was our dream place to go to? Mm-hmm. And so we usually go in a circle because that's like, we just have like a little huddle type thing in life group. And just know I didn't hear his answer, okay? That's what you
I didn't hear his answer, right. But continue.
She didn't hear it, guys. So I said Greece because I was like, what? Like the order that we were going with, I was right next to the person that started. And so
you were right beside me too.
And so, no, I wasn't. I was looking right across from you because I remember I was sitting on the stool.
Yeah, and I was sitting on the couch. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Rob was right beside you.
Oh, yeah.
I have a picture.
I just remember me sitting on the stool and then you sitting across from me.
That's crazy. I was like right beside you.
That's so awkward. Okay. Anywho, so I said Greece and then she said Greece and in my head I'm like,
oh, so you did catch like
what?
A feeling.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, like it's the same.
Did you think I was creepy?
No.
Okay.
I just thought like, oh, same.
So then our leader was like, oh, so everybody wants to go to Greece, and I was like, oh, who said they want to go to Greece? And then they said Friday, and I said, dang it.
You literally did it to yourself.
Yeah, like I was like, dang it, he probably thinks I'm such a creep now. Because also like our friend would be the one driving us to life group, and like I was so invested in talking to him, I would literally sit in like the front seat and I would turn around. Like so I could talk to him.
Your back would be facing the street.
Yeah, like I would literally cross my legs and my back would be. Anyways,
that's
so
crazy.
Around that time, like, God was calling me to read Ruth, and I was reading Ruth like over and over and over again, not understanding what the heck God was like asking me to speak, was speaking to me from that book. And then finally, the last time I read it, I Googled what Ruth meant, and it meant friend. And then God really spoke to my heart to like pray to be just his friend. And so, which is a blessing, to be honest, because I think we have a really good friendship first and then relationship after, you know? So God kept telling me to pray for that. But in those moments where like I was praying to be his friend, I can't hide my emotions. I can't for the life of me hide what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling. So people were like asking me if I liked him, and like I was so embarrassed. Because I was like, he doesn't like me back. Like, he doesn't like me back. And then people would pull me aside and they'd be like, you and Freddy would be so cute. This one girl literally sat me down on my balcony and was like, you guys would be so cute. I know you guys are going to end up together, blah, 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 blah. And then I looked at her and I said, no, he's just a friend. Like, I convinced myself that I didn't like him.
You tried to.
Yeah, I did try to.
Yeah.
I don't think I fooled anybody, though.
No, you didn't.
I fooled you, though.
No, you didn't.
You didn't know.
Well, because I barely knew.
Yeah, because you didn't know. Hmm? What do you mean? What did you
I didn't know because I didn't. I actually had an idea. I was like, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
You're lying.
Like, I had an idea. I was like, oh, maybe. I think so.
I think you're lying.
I'm not. No. So I thought you did because I don't know. You were just really friendly. Like I remember, I tell this story a billion times, but I was at work one day because usually at the job that I had, I would go straight after class, seminary class.
Ah, this is before class.
And
though.
so, huh?
This is before you joined.
What?
What I was talking about.
Yeah.
Is before you joined.
But it was just a funny story. I wanted to.
Oh yeah.
You want to go?
It.
Continue.
No, go for it. Okay, fine. I'll continue. So then, yeah. So things like that were just happen. So I'm telling the story before you joined seminary.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wanna share how like you were trying to do everything but go to seminary?
Yeah, I can share that actually.
Okay, yeah, because I think that's a big part.
Yeah. Okay, so that's funny. So I had tried to actually join Circuit Riders, like for their whole DTS school, because what they do is I still love them to this day. Like I wish I could go, but God has me here. I'm not gonna fight what God has for me. But I did at the same time. So I tried to go to Circuit Riders, and I tried to raise up the money, try to fundraise. I even said it during service here, like asking people to like donate and to like sow into what the Lord had for my life, or what I thought at least. And then I just couldn't get the money. Like I could not get the money.
And then he also tried to like apply for actual school.
Yeah, let me get. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. But that didn't work. Circuit Riders didn't work. So I'm like, okay, like if this doesn't work, if Circuit Riders doesn't work, then whatever. I'll think about seminary. And then boom, that gets cut off. God closes that door. I'm like, okay, well, I thought this is what you had for me, and I was like bummed out, annoyed. I was like, all right, moving on to the next thing. And so seminary is still in the back of my head. And then at the same time, people are telling me, Freddy, you should join seminary. You should join seminary. So the pressure of other people like telling me join seminary, because all my friends at the church were in seminary at the time. And so whatever, that's in the back of my head. Then I also try to join school. I try to enroll myself in the school because I wasn't out of school yet. But at the time, I was trying to like get back or like continue doing school. And whatever, I tried to enroll. There was something happened with my transcripts, and I sent the transcripts over. Like everything happened. And then I can't remember what happened, but they just didn't get it. Or like the most basic thing, it did not happen. I remember praying to God. I'm like, God, like if this doesn't work, then I'll join seminary. And then fast forward, like it just didn't work out. Then I'm like, dang, like I really gotta join seminary now. Because I had other plans. Like I wanted to do other things. But God closed literally the two things that I really wanted to do. And I still want to go to school. But I know I tried fighting it already. I had my little Jonah moment. But, I mean, when God calls me, I guess you just got to go. You just got to be obedient. Because if I go in my own way, it's just not going to work out. It's going to be ugly. So God closed every door for me. And he had one more door open for me. And what was that? That was seminary. And so I talked to my pastor. Thanks.
It's just going to distract me.
No, it's okay.
So
Thanks.
I'm putting that.
I talked to my pastor, Pastor Ray, and he pretty much just told me, bro, like if you hear a word of God, then follow it. And then I knew that too. Like I grew up in the church. I know what it's like to hear the voice of God. But I was just so hard-headed. I was stubborn at the moment because I didn't want to join. And so I'm like, dang, like you're right. Like you're absolutely right. I need to just stop fighting. And so that semester, which was earlier this year, February, I had joined seminary. And then that's pretty much what led me here. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. I joined seminary, and then my life has changed drastically from that. Yeah. And like plans, even like when I joined seminary, I wasn't even thinking about being with anyone, like nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing that I thought my life would be like right now is what I thought would happen. So
yeah. So before I came here, my pastora told me back in Toronto, she said, you are literally about to meet somebody. And then I think 2 weeks later, I met you. Mm-hmm. Not even 2 weeks later,
that's
like
crazy.
A week later. But so then he joined seminary, and it was like 6 months after I joined.
Yeah.
Which was good because I had the first 6 months to like really just like honeymoon Jesus and like like cultivate my time with him, and like let God do a lot of work in my heart. So before he joined, so this is all like between August to December of 2022. God was speaking to my heart a lot about just being his friend, about just guarding my heart, like not being the one to pursue. And it's really weird because before like I was saved, like I liked things really fast, you know, like I just like to be the one to pursue things just so it can go quickly, because I never wanted to wait. I don't know why, but like, amen, God taught me how to wait. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to think because I'm trying to think of like what story to tell. Okay, so then we would become friends, and then like just so many times I would like think to myself, like, this guy doesn't like me, you know? And like I would keep praying and say, God, like take away these feelings, like I just don't want it. And God would just say the same thing, which is Ecclesiastes 5:8. I think I wrote it down. I think it's Ecclesiastes 5:8, which says, Ecclesiastes 8:5-6, which says, a wise heart knows the proper time and the just way. And so I like walked on that word, knowing that like, okay, there's a proper time, there's a just way. But then there was like little things that like he would do that would really upset me. Like, for example, we were like at a park one time, and then I asked him to send me like a picture or something like that, and he didn't save my number. He didn't have my number saved, and I literally went home and I cried so much because I was like, dang, he actually doesn't give a crap. He actually doesn't care. Sorry. He doesn't care about me. And then I blocked his number on WhatsApp, and it was blocked for months. Do you remember that? I blocked your number. Do I remember
that?
Yeah.
It scarred me.
Yeah, good. After what happened, after what you put me through.
Okay, first off, we didn't even text. So I had no reason to text.
Actually, that's not true. One time you had to Zelle me, and so you had to text me to ask me if I got your Zelle.
Goodness.
Anyways, so I blocked his number after that because I got annoyed, and I was just being petty. But then I was going to Toronto, okay? And I'm going to share this story. Okay, this is how petty I was. But this was like the turning and pivotal moment for me. I was going to Toronto, and we had like this white elephant with like a network group. And then we came and we were talking, and then just some stuff happened and I got annoyed. And then we went to all go sit down at the table to eat, and there was just one spot beside me. And so he sat down beside me. But I was already so annoyed with him that I was just like not even annoyed at him. It was just because I liked him and he didn't like me back. So I was just being like a child about it.
It's honest.
What?
I said it's honest.
That is on. I mean, it's true. Yeah. Looking back at it now, I could have handled it more maturely. But it's good because then it made him think, why is she being like that? Why is she? So like in the end, it worked out for my benefit. Mm-hmm. So there was one scene, he sat down, and then I was thinking like, he does not want to sit beside me. I was like, he doesn't want to sit beside me. So then I got up pretending that I had to go throw out my food, and I went to go get some more food, and then I sat on the opposite side of the table because I was like, I'm not going to sit beside him. Like, I'm annoyed, blah, 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 whatever. So then I left that night because I was going to Toronto, and I didn't say bye to him on purpose because I wanted him to think, why didn't she say bye to me? So don't do what I did. It's so toxic.
Just a bit.
But then I went to Toronto, and I went for 17 days. And I said, okay, if he messages me while I'm here, then like all good, you know? Huh? He didn't. For 17 days, he didn't reach out. No response to my story, no texting me, nothing. So then I decided I'm over it. I was like, God, I don't care. I'm over it. I'm not dealing with this anymore. There's no reason. Like, I'm over it. I don't care anymore. So then I came back. And I was this whole new woman.
No, you weren't.
I was.
No, you weren't.
I was. What are you talking about?
You said whole new
No. I was.
No, you try to convince yourself you were, but I was in the back of your head.
Yeah, but I wasn't doing anything about it anymore.
Okay.
What?
No, okay.
I'm not lying.
No, okay.
Okay, so...
You came back from Toronto?
Oh, you knew that I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. So then, yes, I came back from Toronto.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And then, so I decided I'm positioning myself. If he wants to like me, I don't know why I like was playing this game in my head when I literally didn't think you liked me at all. But I made this thing in my head that I will not approach him anymore, and I will not talk to him unless he approaches me. I made it a thing. I don't know if that was wise at all, but I needed to guard my heart because my heart was just kind of out in the open, and I wasn't having it anymore. So then one time we were at life group, and I remember I like was sitting on the couch. I think this is when he started to like, no, I'm not even gonna like assume that. But when I came back, he started seminary with me, like a couple days later, a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he started seminary with me. So then he was already oh my gosh, excuse me. Excuse me.
It's okay.
So he was already starting to see a little bit more of like my personality and stuff. But then at that point I was like, I'm just not like approaching him. So I remember one time at life group I was sitting on the couch, and then you came and you sat beside me, and then I didn't want to be beside him, so I got up and grabbed a chair from like the opposite side of the room, and I put it in the circle away from him. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
You
that.
do?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think you remembered that, to be honest. I didn't think you cared.
No, I do remember that. I can't remember what I felt, but I remember that.
Were you confused?
Probably.
Yeah, most likely. But what? And then like I wouldn't talk to him, like even when we were in the car, because we would like get the same car to go to life group. I wouldn't talk to him unless he spoke to me. Like I literally made it a point where I wouldn't talk to him unless he spoke to me. But he's someone that can't stay quiet for too long. Like if there's two people he likes.
Now there's two sides of that. I can either be someone that stays quiet for too long, or I wanted to talk to you.
Okay.
Wow.
And so anyways, and then the last thing that I noticed is that one time we were having like this huge life group thing on a Wednesday, and I remember that we were all standing in a circle and we were praying, and then he was like going to be beside me to pray, and I moved to the opposite side of the circle. I was like, I'm not going to stand beside him because I needed to protect my heart. Like I was choosing myself first, you know. But then that is when I started to notice that he started coming after me because he stood beside me for the prayer, and then I was talking to my friend by the water stand, and he just happened to go get water, and then I went to go sit on the seats to go talk to my friend, and then he came and he was like, come on with us, like come this. Okay, now if you wanna, I'm sorry I said a lot, but that was because I was just like my process before I realized that like there was something that you started like chasing after me a little bit.
Yeah. See, I'll tell like my entire side from that, but okay, now I'll tell that story. But I was at work. I was at work one day because I had to work straight after class, and then I remember thinking, like, oh my gosh, Kathy's a really cool person. Like she's funny. Like I'm just thinking like all these things about her, and then I catch myself smiling, and then I'm like, I shut that down real quick. Like I went from a smile to a straight face very fast because I'm like, no. Like I'm not doing that. Not doing that. And then I kept on thinking about it. I'm like, dang, like, but I didn't know I was interested in her. Like I didn't know. I just kind of like, because my mindset wasn't to be with somebody. My mindset wasn't to like have a girl. You know what I'm saying? And so, I was like, oh, like she's a cool friend. Like she's a really cool person. But I was thinking about her, like heavy, like a lot. I love that and then, for me. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Then my friend had picked me up from, I can't remember where. He was taking me somewhere. I think it was maybe life group.
Was it Vernon?
Yeah, it was Vernon.
Okay, so that's our leader.
Yeah. Vernon had picked me up to go somewhere, and then he's like, bro, like, how do you feel about Kathy? And then I'm like, no, like she's cool. She's funny, she's cool. And then I think he said something else after that, but I can't remember what he said. And then the conversation was about a die. And then I had said, well, I think about her a lot. Like I think about her, but that's about it. That. Yeah, you did.
I didn't know that you said that to him.
Yeah, I was like, well, I think about her. And then he's like, so you're interested? Like it was like something sprang up in him. He's like, so you're interested? And then I'm like, I guess. Like, I don't know. I think about it. And then he's like, well, you think about it, that means you're interested. Because I think about her, I had thought about her a lot, and I still do think about you a lot. But, and then I was like, I came back home because he had dropped me off at home. That's what he was doing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I think I actually like Kathy. I think I actually like you. And I was like, dang. Oh my gosh. Like, I was just processing that, like, the rest of the night.
Is that when you texted?
Huh?
Is that when you texted JC that day?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know. And then what happened? And then whatever. Fast forward, I had figured out that I liked her, like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then, what happened? Oh, and then it seemed like everybody else was trying to help what was going on in between us. Because there was people, like, my friend, I'm not going to, like, mention his name, just not for any reason specific, but I'm just not going to, but he came up to me, he's like, show that you like Kathy more. And then I'm like, and then Vernon said the same thing to me. And then I remember getting so mad because, like, am I not doing a lot? Like, am I not doing enough? Like, do you not see it?
So he thought giving me attention was enough.
Yeah. Because we weren't dating at the time, so I think attention is
good
enough. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, I guess.
It's like, but at the same time, I didn't want to show you that I liked you. So I was battling with that. Like, I thought I was showing, I was showing you attention. I would talk to you more than I would talk to anybody else. But then apparently I wasn't showing you enough that I liked you.
No, I'm just oblivious. So, like, just giving me attention, like, for me is, like, not, like, a sign that you like me. Okay.
I got you.
Okay.
What was I?
That people are getting involved?
Yeah, so then people were telling me, no, you gotta show Kathy that you like her, like, more. And then I remember one of them was like, I'm just saying that you just gotta do that, like, just do it. But you're doing good though. That's what he would tell me, and I'm like, what?
Thanks.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, like, I don't know what I need to do next, because it's not like we're dating, but at the same time, I just don't want to show you that I like you.
Yeah.
And so I'm struggling with that. And then, whatever, I remember getting so annoyed at that because I didn't want anybody to know. I remember telling my friend, I'm like, yeah, I don't want anybody to know that I like you, even if I did like you. And so we kind of just went forward from there, just because, like, I don't want anybody to know.
I didn't want anybody to know that I liked you at all.
So that was our problem.
Yeah, our pride was in the way.
Yeah.
So that time that I'm telling you guys about when we were, like, at that big life group, and I, like, walked on the other side of the circle when we were all praying. I remember I went up to, like, this girl that I was walking with, and I said, I think I stepped away from Freddy, and now he's approaching me more. And then she pulled me into a room, and she literally was like, Kathy, don't X him.
What?
She was like, just don't put, like, an X on him. And I'm like, what does that mean? She's like, just don't, like, completely shut it off. And then I was like, I like clarity. I love clarity. I don't like when things are up in the air. Like, I don't like when my brain is like, what the heck is going on? And so, but then I kind of knew, like, something was going on, because then another day I was like, we were kind of stacking chairs, and, like, we were kind of together stacking the chairs, and then you left, and then I looked at Vernon and I said, you know something and you're not, which is our leader, and I said, you know something and you're not telling me. And then he was just like, he just would ask me, like I would be like, do you think he likes me? And he would be like, just keep doing what you're doing, just be like, okay. But then there was, like, this moment when we were in the car together, and I told him that I liked his shirt and that he should give it to me, because I was like, maybe I'll just, like, shoot my shot just a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then he said, oh, I only give my shirt to, like, a specific person. And I knew who he was talking about, but I was like, oh, I'll just egg it on, you know. And then I said, who? Like, who? And then he said, oh, just, like, to a significant other, or, like, a partner, you know.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, my clothes is my clothes, like, and I love clothes. Again, I mentioned it earlier, like, I love fashion, I love clothes, like, like, everything.
He does.
So, like, giving my clothes to anybody that I'm not dating is, like, why? But at the same time, I liked you, so.
Yeah. And then But then he said, but I can give you my shirt. I remember when I went home. I went home and I was like, guys, he's going to give me his shirt. What is happening? And then I thought he was going to forget. But I didn't want to remind him because, I'm not going to be that girl, So then the next day, I think you told me that you were washing the shirt. No. Yeah, the next day he told me that he was washing it for me. And then the day after that, he brought it for me. He actually, I didn't have to tell him. He brought it for me. And so then I thought, I remember I got home and I went with my friend and I said, I need to go scream outside. And we went outside and we screamed because I was like, oh my gosh, he gave me his shirt, he likes me. But then he went to New York.
Oh, man.
Then he went to New York. And he didn't message me. 10 days. 10 days. He was at New York and he didn't message me. So then I was there going he doesn't like me. I was like, that's it. That was a good 2 weeks while we were at it. He doesn't like me.
Well, let me tell my part of it too. So I remember going up there. We were on the train, and then I was on the train.
Oh yeah.
And then she had texted me back, and I remember watching one of your episodes actually in your podcast.
You texted me first about my podcast episode.
Yeah. And then you had texted me back, and I don't know. I guess I just got distracted on the train doing I don't know, just anything. I don't know what happened. I just didn't text you back.
For a day. It was a day.
Kathy, it was to the end of the train ride.
It wasn't.
It was so I recognized that I was like, oh shoot, an hour later, 2 hours later that I didn't text you back.
It was not 2 hours later.
I recognized that I didn't text you back after that. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? I think it's too late. I'm not gonna text you back now because if I do, then it's gonna be awkward. And if I say sorry, then she's gonna know she doesn't want to text you. And then, then it's just all those thoughts. And then I remember I go to the gym with my friends JC and Barry. Barry just got married. Shout out. Anyways.
Do you want to take it out?
You know what? It's fine. It's okay.
It's out there.
Anyways, I went to the gym with them, and then I was like, yo, should I text her back? And then they were like, well, do you like her? And then I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, so text her back. And then I'm like, all right, whatever. So mid-workout, I'm thinking about it the entire time, but I don't want to bring it up because I don't want to be annoying to them. We're in a workout. It's just the guys. I don't want to bring up girl stuff with them when we're in the gym. And so I'm in the gym just sending a message, typing on a message, and I sent it. And guess who texted me back? Nobody. You didn't text me back. You didn't text me back.
I mean, if you're going to take 15 hours to respond to me, why am I going to respond back to you? But anyways, he had his chance, and he didn't message me. 10 days. 10 days.
Ooh, you know what? I remember something else, too.
Yeah, that you posted stories.
I was posting a dump on my story, and I posted you twice, just so you can swipe up.
How
just so you can react.
To read your mind?
I posted you on my story.
So? You posted your other friends, too.
But I posted you on my story.
But you posted your other friends too.
So it wouldn't look like I'm only posting you.
That wasn't smooth.
And it was. You just didn't
So
want to
I
see
realized after that he liked me a lot because he would tell me that he did stuff and I was like, oh, I actually never noticed that. Because apparently on his mission trip he was telling everybody that he liked me. But yeah, he didn't text me. Anyways, so he got back. And I guess he had this missions, depression after missions.
That's a real thing. Once you get back from a mission trip, you just don't want to talk to anybody. You want to stay inside. You don't even want to leave the place.
You just made this episode so sad.
Sorry.
Should we just take a moment of
No.
So he was man, when he got back, he made me so angry because he was in his little depression phase. And he wasn't communicating anything. And so then and for me, communication is very important. He's really good at communicating though. He is. He will not leave a conversation unless everything's said and done. Proud of you.
Thanks.
And so, but yeah, he was just being him and just moody, and I just wasn't having him, to be honest, a little bit. But that's, I think, when things started to get more, like, intense. Because then he got over his depression phase, and, oh, my gosh.
Okay,
I'm not saying that, like,
yeah.
Yeah, I said that way too lightly.
Depression is, like, I don't go through depression by the grace of God. Like,
he was just sad.
Yeah, it was just like, dang, I don't want to leave New York.
Yeah, it was just
all the memories.
Sad moment.
Yeah.
So I retract my statement. It wasn't depression. It was just a sad moment. But that's when things, I think, started to, like, get more. Because I remember that we went to the beach one time and, like, our friends were taking pictures and he would come right beside me to take pictures. Like, he would come right beside me and I was just like, what the heck is going on? And then we started to text a little bit. And the whole time in my head, I was just like, should I go tell my pastor? Should I go talk to my pastor? But, like, what if he didn't text his pastor then? Or what if he didn't tell our pastor? Because then I'm going to look like the one that's pursuing him because he didn't talk to his pastor. And then, well, all this stuff. Meanwhile, when did you, do you want to share when you talked to Pastor Ray?
That's the whole thing in itself, too, because I went to a Christian school. I didn't have anybody above me. I wasn't walking with anybody. I didn't even think walking with anybody was a thing. I just had friends. I had friends who were pastors. I had friends who were young adults, youth leaders. But I didn't have, like, walking, like, terms like that. I didn't have. And so I'm like, okay, like, I don't need to talk to anybody. I just need friends, and that's fine. Which I had a friend. I mean, JC. So, like, that would be the main person I would go to. So, like, talking to a pastor, like, I didn't think that was a thing. I'm like, I got it. Like, I don't, like, what do I need to talk to a pastor for? You know what I'm saying? And so that was it. Like, I just didn't think I needed to do that because I just wasn't used to it. My past, I just did stuff by myself. I didn't really make any other, like, moves, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, but you were thinking that.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, and I was there just, like, figuring it out myself.
Thank God people told you to go talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry.
No,
do you want to go?
That's okay.
Okay. So, anyways, so I remembered that. What happened?
Nothing.
Were you gonna say stuff?
No.
Are you sure?
Hmm?
You can talk.
No, I'm good.
Floor is open. Mic
Thanks.
is open.
Thanks.
Okay. So,
I'm sorry.
yeah, I remembered that, like, we started texting, like, a little bit, and, like, for me, I was, oh my gosh, I got lipstick stain on my glass. That's disgusting. So we started texting, like, a little bit, like a very, very little bit, but I didn't have peace with it because I started to, like, before I met him, I was really preparing my heart for somebody. And I wasn't just going to text just to text without having, like, a goal. You know, like, I wanted to know that, like, I was being pursued, and I wanted to know that, like, it was going to go somewhere, and it wasn't, like, just this, like, feeling of, like, let's just see where it goes. Like, no, I needed to make sure that, like, there was a goal. And so when the texting started happening, I was feeling, like, such a lack of peace. So that's when I talked to the pastor. And then the pastor said, yeah, he talked to me in January. And I was like, if you talk to the pastor, then he actually likes me.
I remember that, actually.
When you talked to him?
Yeah. We went all the way to the back. We sat on the curb right outside the side door. Me and Pastor Ray.
Okay.
That was it. And then I just told him about you.
You didn't do it in here?
No, which was like, why wouldn't I do it in here? Maybe I didn't want anybody to know. Like, in the slightest. Yeah.
Did you tell him to go back there? Was I here?
I don't know where you were.
Probably living out one of my dreams.
That was so dramatic. For no reason.
Okay, anyways. So then, I'm going to continue. Do you want to talk about that moment where I was giving you the cold shoulder and you said...
Yeah.
Okay.
There was one moment where I was walking down the hall. It was like the break from in between prayer and class.
No, it was office hours.
It was office hours?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when it was. I just know that I was walking down the hallway.
It was in sanctuary.
And I don't think we're talking about the same story.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. We're not talking about the same story.
No, we're not. So this was in between prayer and class. So we usually have like a 10.
Oh, I'm not going to share
break.
why I got upset though.
Okay. Oh, that was another one?
No.
Okay.
With the one with you walking down the hallway?
Yeah. Give me the cold shoulder so bad.
I did.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not going to expose you.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I'm not bad, guys. Like
no, he's not. He's not. It's just because I overthink things.
I got you.
Yeah, okay.
Honest. So I said hi to her because we didn't really talk before that because she had prayer. We had prayer. And then I tried like giving her like a fist bump type thing for some strange reason. That's like what we did, I guess, here in the church. Like everybody just fist bumped each other at the time. Now we don't do that anymore. Now we just give each other a dap. But you just kept on walking straight. Like you didn't even look at me. Like I was like this, and then you were just walking right past, and I'm like, huh? And then Juan was looking because Juan was still in seminary at the time, and he looked at me, and I looked at her because Juan had saw the whole thing. And then I'm like, what just happened? And then you were on your way to the bathroom.
No, to the classroom.
Or to the classroom. You were on your way to the bathroom.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awkward.
And then me and him were like, what just happened? Because you don't do that. Like, you don't just do that for no reason.
Yeah, I was mad.
8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I was mad. I was really mad.
And I was like...
Yeah, I was really mad.
Okay, go on. You can go ahead and say your story. I'll continue.
That wasn't for LTC?
No. So
yeah, stories. And then I realized, and then he told our leader about that story, because then my leader asked me why I did that, and I said, how do you know about that story? But no, that's not the one that I was talking about. I was talking about, so I was getting like super anxious because we were texting and there was no like clearly, he's just more like go with the flow. I'm not like, I'm not go with the flow. I'm anything but the flow, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like to plan.
I like to plan a lot. Like I like to know what I'm doing next week, like 3 weeks in advance. You know? Okay, that's dramatic, but anyways, so then I was getting really anxious, and so for me it started to feel really heavy to be around him because I wasn't like 100% sure of what was going on. And so I walked by him in the sanctuary.
I was so confused.
He was like, what did you say? You're like, I ain't with it.
Oh, I don't know if it was that. No, you walked by and I was like, oh, I'm not with that. Like, I'm...
Oh, you were like, what's this tension? Like, I'm with it.
Ew, what the heck?
So it was some, like, but those words came out of his mouth.
I was like, no, I'm not with that. Like, what's this tension about? Because you just walked away mad, like.
Yeah, sometimes
weird.
I have trouble expressing what's going on in my brain.
Before, but now you're.
No, I'm getting better. I am, in the name of Jesus. But anyways, so after that happened, I was like, I'm done with this, like, not knowing what's going on stuff. So I went right to the pastor. And I said, look, I need to know. I need to know from his mouth if he likes me. Yeah. I said, I need to know. I can't listen to people, because so many people were telling me, like, they weren't telling me that he told them he likes them. He pulled aside my friend, pulled her outside, and I saw them going to talk. And she wouldn't tell me that he told her that he's interested in me. My leader didn't tell me. My person I was walking with didn't tell me, because he didn't tell me. So, like, everything was kind of just up in the air, so I was really confused. It was giving me anxiety. And so then I told my pastor, I said, look, like, I need to know. Like, I wasn't going into, like, I didn't want to tell him that I like him or beg him to tell me that he likes me. I just needed clarity. And so my pastor said, you know what? I think it's okay. Like, you can go ask him, or you can go talk to him. So I walked right into that sanctuary, and I looked at him and I said, can we talk? And then we sat down on the couch. And then he told me that he's interested in me, and then he would like to pursue me. And then what else did we talk about? We talked about, like, how we can go about making this work a little bit. We talked about each other's past.
Yeah.
Remember? Excuse me.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, and then so then that kind of started, like, the whole us talking.
Yeah. No, it's okay. So our situation was a bit different because we're both in seminary. And there's a rule in seminary where you can't date the first year.
Yeah.
And so I guess that was kind of one of the things that hindered me from telling Kathy, because I didn't want to, I don't know, like I guess I just didn't want to say that I liked her knowing that we can't date. So it's just like, all right, what's the point of me even telling her if nothing can come from it? And so I just, like, I was in a fight with myself. Like, I wanted to tell you, but, like, I just.
Yeah, I remember someone telling me that they told him to make sure he was 100% before even telling me. But I was impatient, to be honest. But that's okay.
It's fine.
It is what it is. Yeah, look where we are now. So then that started, like, us talking, and then that was in April when we had that conversation. And then we had to wait a year, but our pastor graced us to start dating 2 weeks ago. And then, yeah, he asked me to be his girlfriend.
How did I ask you? Remind me.
You know how you asked me.
You got awkward.
So I knew what he was going to do. I knew the day it was happening, and I knew that he was going to, I got really close to the mic. And I knew that he was going to do a picnic, because one day he came to me and he said, Kathy, you're going to find out that I love picnics. And so then I saw a message on his phone. I didn't see what the message said, but he was so weird about it. He's like, did you see that message? Like, did you see that message?
There you go. What?
Did you see that message? I said I didn't, but it was with my two friends. And then my friend sent me a message saying, let's go for a picnic at a park after service. And then I was like, oh, he's asking me to be his girlfriend. So when we pulled up, I was already looking for the car. I was looking for him. And then when we pulled up to the park, he was standing there with, like, roses, and there was, like, things on the floor. There was, like, a little picnic and chocolate. No, chocolate was in the car, right?
Yeah, I had left the chocolate. I forgot the chocolate at the church because it was straight after service.
Yeah. It was so sweet. He woke up at 6 in the morning.
That whole day was just, what was even happening? I was running. I had to go to Walmart because I was going to do one thing, which I'm still going to do. It's going to be your Christmas gift. But I didn't end up doing that because time, and, like, I just didn't, like, plan it correctly, I guess. And so I had woke up at, like, 6 in the morning, but I got up at 6:30. And I'm like, dang, I gotta go if I want this to work out smoothly. And so I went to Walmart. I got grapes. I got strawberries, and then I went to, where else did I go? I went to Walgreens to try to do the thing that I was gonna do, but then I was like, you know what? I just have a printer at home, so I'm just gonna go home and print it. But I wanted it to be, like, quality, and so, excuse me, but.
It's okay.
Thanks. So whatever, Walgreens didn't work. Walmart, I tried to do the thing there. That didn't work, but I got the strawberries and the grapes. And after that, I went to Whole Foods. And tell me, what? They had one bouquet of roses, like, left.
It's crazy.
And it wasn't the best one, but I know that Whole Foods does bouquets because I seen it the night before on, like, some video. I'm like, oh, bet. And so I went to go, like see what that was about. And so I went there, asked them if they did bouquets, and the person's like, I've never done a bouquet before, but I'll try. And at this point, it was like 8:10, and I had Betty. Betty's the class car. Betty is a class car, so we can all go places. But I had Betty, so I needed to go back to the house on time, because if I was late, then she would know something.
Yeah, he had to pick us all up for church.
Yeah, and I was there at, like, 8:15, and so I'm, like, waiting patiently. I'm, like, checking the time to see, like, when I would get to the house, to her house, and she was taking a minute to do that, and the bouquet wasn't that nice, in my opinion. But I needed to get you some flowers. I needed to get you something.
It was so sweet.
Yeah, but then I realized, like, all right, that's not enough flowers. The flowers that I got you, that wasn't enough. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, I need to get her some flowers. When can I get flowers? And then I'm like, okay, bet. Like, I'll just go straight after service. And then I had this whole thing planned out. Are you crying?
You're just so romantic.
Are you crying?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Continue.
Okay. So after service, I had this whole thing planned. I had called my mom when I was alone, like, in the church.
What? Why are you laughing?
I called my mom. I'm like, okay, I need you to call me and tell me that I need to go home straight after service. Like, I'll text you, and then you need to call me, because usually, like, that's never happened before. Like, you've never.
It's not stopping.
You called me. Okay, let me just get this point out, because, like, it's taking
I'm sorry. Go,
no, it's
go,
okay.
go.
And so I called my mom, and then after service, I told her to text me, whatever. She called me. Then I'm like, Kathy, I need to go home. Like, my mom just called me and said that she needs me home for something. And she's like, okay.
I knew he was not. I knew he was doing something.
No, because you seemed very concerned.
I checked your location, and it was off.
Yeah, I mean, so I could either leave it on and have you know that I'm doing that for you, even the place too, or I can have it off and leave you wondering.
I knew.
And so I'd just rather leave you wondering, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
So after that, I was like, okay. And so I left, and I thought, like, okay, like, she has no idea that there's actually nothing going on, like, with my mom. And then straight after service, I went to Trader Joe's. That's when they had, like, really, really good roses. And I asked if they did bouquets, too. And they were like, no. But, again, the night before, I saw that Trader Joe's had also did bouquets too, so I went there. I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll just figure it out. I'll try to fit the Trader Joe's flowers into the Whole Foods flowers, like the bouquet. And then whatever, after that, I got strawberries from there, actually. One of the best strawberries I've ever had, actually. But I went home, I washed the strawberries, and then I went to the park, and then I set everything up. And then I got Sine help me too, because after church you were talking to one of the new seminary students, and Sine got, like, all the things where I could put, like, the fruits and stuff, and she ran to bed while you were, like, distracted for some reason. And then I remember you were talking to the new seminary student, and then I went to the storage room that we have, and I grabbed the tarp, and then I remember, like, peeking through the curtain to see, like, if you were facing me, like you were distracted at all, and then you were distracted, and so I ran outside the side door, and then I put the tarp in the trunk, and I'm like, yes, like, it's working out, everything is working out perfectly fine. And then that's when I did all the things in Trader Joe's. Went home to wash strawberries. Then I went to the park, and then I had set everything up, and it was like a solid setup. I put all the Trader Joe's flowers into the bouquet.
You put them on the floor.
Nice. I did.
It was so romantic.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, once we started, like, the actual talking after April, like, I think I saw, like, a whole new side of him. You know, it was, like, very, like, he pursued a lot, and he still does. And he's just so amazing. So amazing. And he puts so much intention behind everything, too. He goes the extra mile, and it's a blessing. Thanks. But we're at an hour into.
I was just thinking that, like,
yeah,
are you just gonna, like, you think we should, like,
cut it?
Do part 1, part 2?
No, it's over. Our story's over. It's still being written.
Ew. It's still being written.
You only said ew because we're on camera right now. That's crazy.
I would look at you and laugh.
Yeah, you would.
Anyways, so kind of just to finish off, we did that.
Yeah.
The day I asked you, it was like a whole little thing. We sat at the park for like an hour. We didn't even finish the fruit. We ate like half the fruit. We ate more chocolates.
And croissants.
Croissants. So I got you croissants.
Yeah, we put the chocolate in the croissants.
You put the chocolate, peppermint bark.
Do the bark.
No. So, after that, I planned to go get some ice cream because I know you like sweets. Like, I know you just like to get ice cream. And I was like, because we were both so full of chocolate. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just go get food. Let's go get sushi.
Yeah.
And then whatever, we went to Fat Boys, this sushi place that we have right here. Really good sushi. After that, we went to go see lights. We went to go see Christmas lights. Yeah. Which is, those lights are awesome. Those lights were amazing.
And that was our first official date.
It was.
9 months after we confessed that we like each other a little bit. Yeah, it's been a blessing for real.
Yeah, it is.
And like, I don't know. I think God just honors those who honor him first. And so like, it's been like a blessing. But I wanted to share this story again for like the people who are like waiting or they're in like a season that I was in before meeting Freddy, or like before even meeting Jesus, because it's tough, like broken people everywhere, and I know that like my past took a hit on my value and who I was, but like just to see God and what he did with me and Freddy is a blessing, and don't lose hope. God has something. You drank that so fast. Dang. God has something beautiful for you, the listener. But we're going to leave the story here. We're going to have Freddy on again and 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 again. All the time. He's going to be on all the time.
Amen.
Look, he's loving it. Look at him. He loves it. But yeah, let's pray. Do you want to pray us out?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jesus, for this podcast. Lord, we know that you're in this podcast. You know that every person that's watching this and that's hearing this heard your voice, Amen. Lord. Anybody who's like kind of going through the same thing that we went through in the beginning of the year, kind of like going with confusion and just communication, God, I just pray, Lord, that the person who's listening to this would hear your voice, would get clarity, God, with what to do, Jesus, and what not to do as well, Lord. I pray, Holy Spirit, that you would continue to speak through Kathy's life, God, that Amen. You would bless this podcast, bless the people who are listening to this podcast, God, and I pray that, once again, that they would have clarity, Lord, and that they would hear your voice through Kathy's life, Jesus, and that you would just continue to bless this podcast as well. In your name, Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.